Hey, Earthgod here, and it's time to talk about Sentence to be a Hero. And this episode is again setting up some quite interesting things, but also had so many fun moments, especially thanks to Kivia, the fight, and also fuck them kids. At the end of the episode, it's great seeing this one here. So let's get into it and talk about it. We get to see a bit of the aftermath of the previous fight with Shiji Bao there and Bujam, which seems like there's gonna be a lot more of them in the future here, but we also find out quite a bit more about Kivia and Dota in this episode there, and apparently there's a traitor among them that has been going on, not exactly from the heroes, maybe from the knights, from the church, whoever is involved in the group that are present here, there's somebody betraying them. And we also get during the meeting to meet this high priest Marlin. He's an advisor there, but I didn't expect him to be Kivia's uncle, and he seems to be like quite understanding. He's not as dismissive as you could expect from the church, how they've been presented here, or others that we have met so far. He even goes ahead to actually give some praise in a way to Xylo by the way he talked to him when Xylo interrupted him, telling Kivia, hey, you could learn a thing or two from him speaking like that. So that's a bit different way of treating people, and especially heroes from what I've seen so far. So I'm liking him, and he has supported Kivia quite a lot, but we're going to get into that. Now, Xylo's suggestion, thanks to the interruption, there was for them to investigate the guild, the ones that hired probably Shiji Bowder, and it turned out that was the case. We don't fully know the reasons there, but there's a connection apparently with the guy in charge, Lideo Sodric, very important with the guild here, and we see him a bit in this episode. Don't fully know what exactly his goal plans here. He just said he's doing this entire thing for his family. What exactly does that mean? I don't know. We're probably going to find out here. But also something curious with Venetim. He was acting very weird. He wants something, he knows something, he can't say it, something happened, I don't know. So something is up with Venetim here. In before he did something inadvertently, and maybe he was the one that probably caused this entire betrayal thing, and I don't know. But keep in mind Venetim as we move forward with the story here. Now, also get to see the guild, what is happening there with Lideo, Shiji Bao, and Bujom. They're fighting a bit, bickering, complaining that the job failed. Shiji wants more money. Bujom also wants more money, and it seems the guild is also using kids as soldiers. There is one very protective of her brother, maybe calling Lideo just brother, because depending the circumstances how they grew up here. And yes, they agree for more money. Shiji is also gonna hire more mercenaries, probably. But what I found interesting was, we know Bujam is very weird there, like we saw him last episode, but something curious he was doing here, saying, yeah, I would like more money also. But the reason he wants more money is because he wants more books from this writer, Artroyard Comet. I'm sorry if I'm butchering names, but a few episodes ago, I think it was episode 4 or 5, somewhere around there, Xylo was also reading the same poet there. So there's a connection between them, both of them liking that. So maybe they're gonna become brothers now, sharing their love over poetry. But something to keep in mind here. Now, after this, we see Jace got in trouble, in romance trouble with dragons. Is he actually cheating? I think at this point it's safe to assume he's fucking the dragon, right? Am I wrong about that? Don't tell me. He's probably fucking the dragon, Neely. And Neely seems to be very jealous, or he's actually very cheating. He likes to play around with other dragons, so she kind of kicked him out. They're fighting there. And he seems to be very protective over Dota, because Dota at some point offered his own arm to a dragon for food. So we're gonna get into that also a bit later when we find out Dota's past a bit more. Now, Xylo wants to infiltrate the guild, and of course he wants to use Dota here. Rhino keeps getting mentioned. I do hope at some point we're gonna meet him very soon. I'm very curious about him. Why would you offer yourself up to be a hero? So Rhino is something I hope the promises, the payoff is gonna be worth it here with him. He has been built up slowly throughout these episodes, and apparently they found a leg for Norgel to replace it for him, and Dota having to infiltrate Jace and Xylo bickering here, there, and after this we see the master plan for them to have this infiltration. Yeah. Kivia in a dress, looking very cute and shy. I really liked her quite a lot in this episode, and she remembered that comment Xylo made. Are you gonna tell me I look like a man again? And no, she's like, no, you actually look like the very image of a young noble woman. She got very tsundere there, very shy, very cute. Blushing all over the place. Don't think flatter is gonna get you anywhere. Of course not. Of course not. You're like, oh, okay, fine. He didn't fully realize how far it could get him. But they need a reason to hire this guild, and their plans don't really work, and Dota just comes up with the perfect idea for them to pretend they're in love, and Kivia, being the noble woman, wants to kill her husband and hire the guild to kill this husband here. They actually offered probably one noble there, that poor guy. Hey, you're just gonna get killed in a random mission because why not? But the cute moments, the fun character moments, interactions were fun there, especially with Kivia there, and them having to pretend to be lovers here. But then we finally get to see a flashback with Dota, his trial, like how he got into the position of being a hero. And apparently he escaped the castle with a dragon, probably the one that fed his arm to. We see he's missing an arm there, so he also probably got it replaced at the repair shop, which I'm still very curious, how exactly is this repair shop working? Hopefully you get to see it at some point. But what I liked, it actually gave a bit more depth to Dota as a character. He's not just this kleptomaniac. He actually has a sense of morality and some good parts into him, because even he felt compelled to help the prince. Apparently the prince asks him for help. He's locked in there, the crown prince, and he wanted to get out, and apparently the royal family is acting weird, something is up with them. But then the church and the ones at the trial instantly, no, that didn't happen, the prince didn't ask you for help, everything is fine, you don't know what you're talking about, is denying it. He was actually pushing quite hard about it. So there's something more happening with the royal family. We don't know what. Is it the coexisters? Is it the demons infiltrating there? Is it something else? Is it the church controlling them? Which is probably, I'm leaning kind of a bit more into that, considering what we saw here and what we know with this church. And apparently the chancellor could be involved also. So there's a bigger conspiracy that's happening here. It's funny kind of how most of them kind of stumbled into this conspiracy. We saw Xylo being forced into that frame to what happened, their vanity with his articles here, now Dota getting into the situation with the prince. So it seems like sentenced to be a hero, like a lot of them are also just kind of just people you want out of your way if you're planning something badly and you just want them dismissed instantly. I'm sure there's actually people that could probably deserve to be here, like dregs of society, scums, pieces of shit, humans, criminals, whatever, worst of the worst that deserve this kind of punishment. But it seems it's also used as another means of getting rid of somebody or dismissing them instantly instead of just killing them or using them for other purposes, which is interesting. I really hope we get more information and history how this punishment started out to be. And I like Dota actually wanted to help this much there, so we're gonna have to see what exactly is going on with the royal family. Now we see Jace's influence, like how much the dragon's breath drug was spread around the city there, and while Xylo and Kivia are going towards the guild, and he asks her, why would you join the military considering your background, your family being this high up and everything. And seems like her parents were kind of pieces of shit. Her mother and father were priests, but corrupt priests, taking too much bribery, money, using their power for nefarious things, and she didn't really like that or like them, and she wanted to make her own way in life, so to say, and her uncle was the one that supported her quite a lot, and her cherishing that first training sword she had from him, and she was like, okay, now I shared something there. How about we talk a bit about your fiancé? Okay, he's getting somewhere, but no, they get interrupted because Dota showed up and the plan is about to start telling them that the guild is using children, turning them up to be assassins there. And while this was happening, it seems like the guild has its very good information network. It's kind of, children usually go unnoticed, so to say, so they can gather, listen to things, be around. You see, especially in medieval settings like this, you see them around, you don't really pay much attention to them. We've seen this in a lot of things, how kids are used for information and being as soldiers here, so they know Xylo and Kivia, who they are, what exactly they're planning. And apparently Lideo wants Xylo alive, so there's a lot more to this. Is he against the demons? Is he trying to do something else? Is somebody using his family as hostages to put him into this situation? So I don't know, but he wants at least to talk to Xylo, or wants to use him for something, and what exactly are how he got involved into this. I can't really see him as a believer or something, just kill Theorita because he's against the goddesses, or I don't know. But something to keep in mind there. And then we see Kivia and Xylo undercover, and Kivia's acting is, I wouldn't say Oscar praise worthy, but she was great, even though she was very pushy, like everybody could see. There's no way she's a number one. Like, knock on the door there, going on the receptionist, I want somebody killed instantly. Screaming it out loud. Of course, they're not gonna get, even if they didn't know, let's assume that the guild didn't know who they were. At this point, nobody would have believed. That was funny there. Xylo tries to smooth it over a bit with money and things like that. They offer this high-stud noble guy to be killed here, and it wasn't working out. And then Xylo says, it's about time we start trouble, trying to get into the fight with everybody and then give Dota a chance to get information thanks to the chaos. But they get interrupted by Francie. She kind of had a similar plan, infiltrating the guild, and she kind of helps them out of that situation a bit. They go up in a room to talk. I liked Francie versus Kivia bickering a bit over Xylo and things like that. And I like how blunt and the way Francie talks, she does things to me. She definitely does things to me. And Kivia is also really cute. I don't know which one to pick. I would just say both for different reasons. So Xylo is in the middle there, and he just says while they were bickering, I didn't know your personality would clash this much. And what did you say? They turn on. Dude, you walked on that mine yourself. You did it to yourself. But then everything turns into the fight because the guild is there to kill them, attack them here. And what I liked was, fuck them kids. Yeah, they're soldiers. And then I hate when we have that moment. Oh no, he's a kid. Oh no, he's a woman. Oh no, he's an old man. Oh no, he's whatever. They're trying to kill you. Just kick them, punch them back. Francie and Xylo, zero hesitation. Fuck them kids. Great. Turns into a full fight with the guild there. I like how Xylo just throws an explosive knife to that guy with the Gatling gun. And Kivia kind of has a thing for cutting arms, it seems. There, she cut this guy's arm also instantly, while he didn't even realize it. I like that. He was just firing his magic Gatling gun. His arm is just... It took him a bit to realize he just lost his arm, and after that an exploding knife to the face, he gets charred there, and then it turns into a full-blown chaos fight with the guild, which you're probably gonna have to wait for next week. So yeah, fun episode here. I'm very curious what Lidio's circumstances are here. Bujom, who exactly is he? The Spriggan, is he something else? Shijibao, what exactly is she gonna do? How Lidio got into this here, what's happening? Dota's past was also quite interesting. Kivia gets cuter and cuter by the moment, and Francie, goddamn Francie. But yeah, fun episode. Here seems like we're just starting with this arc that has been set up there more and more, and I'm liking it. And I do hope Rhino is gonna be worth it when we finally get to meet him. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot. And you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Sentence to be a Hero. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.